This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Yes, we have. Thank you. You guys ready?
Yes.
Can you believe I get nervous before we do this?
You can't get nervous
I
anymore.
I get so nervous. We're going to be good. We're going to be good, darling. We're going to be good.
Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Public Affairs. You guys can see we wasted no time getting started because my next guest is as rambunctious as all gets out, and I'm so excited to be having her here on the show. She told me in July, give me a month to prepare, and here we are in October. I am so sorry. That was my fault, girl. That was my fault.
It's
Okay,
completely fine.
No, yes, I was booked and busy, okay?
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, fuck, Gabby. So my bad. Thank you so much for coming on. Listen, guys, before we continue with my very special guest, Gabby, I definitely want to use this opportunity to thank Rogue Media Network. Of course, Mike is doing everything that he can and working effortlessly to make sure that this episode is in production. So thank you. And of course, to all of you guys, I'm going to encourage you to please like, share, and subscribe. Listen, I'm trying to get 3,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and we're at 2,800 and something. So we're almost there, all right?
So subscribe.
Yeah, so subscribe. Gabby said subscribe, otherwise we can't release the episode. She said, if you don't subscribe, we're not releasing the episode. Screw you guys. No, I'm kidding. Listen, before we get started, let's go ahead and just give a shout out to just a few of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us, of course, by David Santabanez with Linear Real Estate. He's the number one sales agent out of Linear Real Estate. That's right. He will help you buy a home, sell your property. He remains the number one sales agent because he's just a go. Because if you don't know what you're doing, he's going to help you. He's going to help you every step of the way, every step of the process. And sabe español también. Listen, he's amazing. I've worked with him a few times. He's absolutely great realtor. Make sure you guys hit up David Santabanez with Linear Real Estate and call the number on the screen, darling. For all your real estate needs, my boy David Santabanez. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. This next sponsor is giving dinner. It's giving hungry. It's giving Armstrong's Bayou Cafe, Bayou Po' Boys with Anika Armstrong, serving the most authentic Cajun cuisine with a wide selection of signature crab cakes, pasta, seafood, and more. You guys, my favorite is any single pasta that she has there. The signature pastas, they be going. They give, you know what I mean? They're giving authentic Cajun cuisine. Okay. If you guys like baked potatoes, you guys like seafood, go try them out as well. And of course, she put me onto the Po' Boys, and the Po' Boys are unrivaled in Central Texas. The Armstrong's Bayou Cafe. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, my boy Manny Guerrero at Blue Star RV Services, a mobile RV tech who can fix all RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and those broken down food trucks. Where every time we go get the food trucks and we want the tacos or we want the hamburger something, right? And then something's broken. Oh, that's not working right now. You can't get the French fries because our deep fryer is not working. Call Blue Star RV Service, okay? Because we're hungry. Gabby and I are hungry. We want to eat, okay? It's giving hungry. And Blue Star RV Services is 100% reliable and dependable and can go out there and make sure that all your jobs are taken care of. The Blue Star RV Services, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair, of course, to Chef's Pizza and Burgers with Jesse and Tanya Sotomayor, offering a wide variety of delicious lunch and dinner options. The best thing to come out of Belmead, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I know sometimes my opinion is not valid, but it is in this case because it's my show. They have the best New York-style pizza, burgers, subs, delicious Mexican hot dogs, and so much more. You guys have to try out their desserts as well. And of course, go and grab an ice cold beer after a long week of work. Listen, I got some pizza last week. Oh my God, me and my friends rolled around in that pizza, and the monkey bread was absolutely unrivaled. It was so good, girl. It was so good. Make sure you guys head over to Belmead at 3125 Belmead Drive, Chef's Pizza and Burgers. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, we can't go on without thanking my boy Jeff Davis, the Texas car plug at University Mazda Kia. Listen, hit him up to get the best deal on a brand new or pre-owned vehicle. Listen, if you got bad credit, if you got good credit, we're going to talk about credit here in a minute too. Okay, girl? Yes, because she already knows what's going on with the credit. Don't look at my credit score yet. He's going to make sure that you're rolling off the lot with something brand spanking new, something that's going to make you smile from ear to ear. Jeff Davis is the GOAT at University Mazda Kia. So Jeff, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. All right, guys. So like I said, I'm super excited to have this next guest onto the show. It's somebody that was actually referred to me. And when I reached out to her, she acted like she was nervous, which no way, because I watched her TikTok. She's not nervous about nothing. I stalked your TikToks for the whole weekend. Yes, I did. I'm not going to lie. So that when it says Andrew Gomez or The Public Affair viewed your profile 100 times, that's true. Yeah, I don't know if you didn't know. Okay. She is a realtor here in town, and she's working hard to make sure that all her clients are moving into the home of their dreams, and she's doing it one day at a time. I'm so excited to welcome my very, very special guest, who she says we kind of go back, and I'm going to dive into this in just a minute. My very special guest, Ms. Gabby Cortes, is here on The Public Affair. Gabby, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, no, of course. It's the cheetah for me.
I love cheetah.
Don't you love cheetah and cheetah
I love
girls?
It. Yes.
Yeah,
we were watching it the other day. Me and the girls were.
Don't you feel like now that it's on Disney Plus, you just have to watch it? Like when you watch the first one, you have to watch all three.
Of course.
At least once every few months.
Even though my husband didn't know what it was.
He didn't. Is he put on now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But we just gotta kick him to the other room.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not a cheetah sister like we are?
No.
Yeah, because we are
But
sisters.
he knows I'm a fan. You know, yes, we are sisters. We're sisters.
I don't know. I fucks with cheetah girls heavy. So when you hear the bass in South Waco, Because Jeffrey Monroe put the, that's me bumping Cheetah Girls at South Terrace.
I've heard it on Kiwi Drive.
Did you really? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was me too. Absolutely. That was absolutely me. Yes. Strut is my jam. Of course, Cinderella. We all know Cinderella.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm just the Cheetah Girl stand. But no, the Cheetah's doing good. You look gorgeous today. Thank you so much. Now the husband couldn't make it, but we are accompanied by the husband's sister. Gabby. Shout out to Gabby. She's off camera right now. But Gabby, thank you so much for coming for the moral support. We truly appreciate it. And thank you for being here. Again,
Thank you for having me.
Now you say that you guys met me when we were gonna shout out my last job that I worked at 11 years when I was a little kid. Carter Blood Care.
Yes.
I don't remember you guys. I'm sorry. Do you know why, Gabby?
Why?
Because I pressed delete on that entire 11-year portion of my life.
I pressed delete on my high school too.
Did you
so
really?
Don't bring that up.
Was this Waco High? Why? I want to talk about high school.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I guess I'll give you snippets.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's it.
No. Yeah. You don't have to go into detail, but I definitely want to learn about what makes Gabby Gabby. You know what I mean? But no, I think it was so cute that when I messaged you, you said, "You don't remember me and my husband, and we knew you from the high school blood drives," and I was like, "No, that was."
I literally have a picture of you when my husband is in the blood suit.
Okay.
Next, I just can't find it. I just know I have that picture
You have
though
to
somewhere.
find it, please.
I have to find it.
Please find it so that way we can post it as promo.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, that was the worst job I ever had in my entire life. And I spent 11 years.
Well, I thought you were great at it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
A lot of people liked me. I just thought that job was super lame. Like, you know how much traveling we had to do? And everybody I worked with was lame too. I'm not going to lie. I worked with the lamest group of people. It was the lamest job. I was like, this job is driving me fucking bonkers.
It's because you were the vibe.
But yeah, well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
But then, when I started the public affair, I knew that I can't work here and do the public affair. There's just no way. It took up a lot of time. And then I became the public affair. So I was like, I'm too big for this. I can't do this.
Yes.
No, but listen, thank you so much for coming. I truly appreciate it. You're a renowned realtor in your own rights, girl. A lot of people love working with you. You have a lot of reputable people, say a lot of good things about you, a lot of reputable things about you, I should say. One of our very good friends is Leslie Delgado, who I love. And she was like, Leslie, I can't remember if she told me to get you on the show or I think they were maybe talking to you or something like that. I can't remember. But listen, before we get to know about Gabby Cortes, right? And the juggernaut that you are in real estate, I want to talk to you about your life growing up. So can you just introduce yourself to us and maybe just a little bit about your life? You don't have to talk about all the fights you had. That's okay. You don't have to talk about all the fights you had. That's fine.
Me? A fight? No.
Yeah, you don't have to talk about the time you snatched that bitch up, by the way. You don't have to do that. Okay.
Well, my name is Gabriela Cortes, originally from Waco, Texas, born and raised. I went to AJ Moore as a freshman, then we got shut down. We transferred to university. So yes, so I graduated from University High School.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So I remember when the AJ Moore shutdown thing happened. What happened? Did they just lose funds or what happened with that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I just know that I was gonna go to another school.
Yeah. Well, how was that transition for you?
It was pretty good. I mean, I knew everybody. My middle school year, I went to Cedar Chavez for sixth grade. Then I transferred to University Middle School, so I knew a group of people.
Okay, gotcha. So you were already in, so nobody was going to initiate you.
Yeah, no.
When you got to university.
No.
Okay. What about the family dynamic? I mean, were you raised with both parents?
I was raised by a single mom.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, so what was that like for you now as a mother in 2024?
So I am proud to say I broke the chains.
Oh, good.
I am proud of that. My mom has always been a role model as she's raised us on her own and raised 3 kids on her own.
Girl.
Never asked for child support, none of that.
Okay.
So that's she's always worked. She's always worked somehow, some way to provide for us.
That's good. And I like that you say that too, because I feel like a lot of people are getting really complacent with asking for handouts and everybody's really quick to post their Cash App and shit. You know what I mean? And I like to hear that you just grew up in a solid household with a woman, for that matter, who was like, no, I'm going to get it any way I can get it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Do you think that inspires you in your motherhood today?
Yes, because I seen my mom. My mom has always been ill. She has a lot of health issues.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of had to grow up faster than usual children. But it also helped me to be the person I am today because I've always honestly been a hustler.
Yeah.
I've always worked for everything I've wanted. It's hard for me to ask for help.
Okay.
And when I finally ask for help, it's because I've done everything I could in my possibility.
Sure.
But I've always been the type I remember where I came from.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what keeps me going.
So, and do you think a lot of that keeps you grounded as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like to hear that you say, and and big shout out to the mom, and I hate, to hear that she has to constantly go through things and stuff like that. But, you mentioned earlier, or just a second ago, that, it's almost like a pride thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just like, I'm not going to ask nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
can I ask you, and I'm not going to probably, shout out to the husband who couldn't be here today. He's a fan too. So,
Yeah.
big shout out to him. But, do you think that plays a part in your relationship where maybe you're a little bit too headstrong? Women, so I think in the traditional relationship, the women have to kind of like let the man lead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about for you?
So my husband is amazing.
Yes.
I wouldn't have the amount of kids I have if it wasn't for him. He is very, he's very kind,
Yeah.
we honestly even each other out because he was raised with my in-law, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law
Sure.
are very loving. They've always welcomed me with open hands
Gotcha.
into the family. I'm like not even considered in-law. I'm like me and her are sisters.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's,
Okay.
I can talk to her about anything and
That's
everything.
So good.
Yeah. But my mother-in-law has been very sweet to me, very kind. He's more like my in-laws have always been helpful.
Yeah.
So he's used to asking, like his parents or his family will help him.
Okay.
And I love that.
Sure,
but but sometimes I'm like, okay, come back. Like we're separate. Yeah, we have to figure this out as a marriage. Gotcha. So I think it did take some time for us to be able to get used to each other and not asking for help. Or he knows me and I know him. But I think now he's used to me now. And just give him a lot of praise because putting up with me is hard.
Girl,
I give him praise.
I can only tell. When I was going through the TikToks, I was like, damn, I bet being married to her is a chore. I love and appreciate like your strong-willed nature. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wonder because sometimes a lot of people, I should say women, but I don't want to generalize the statement. Like it affects their relationships and it affects like how they maneuver in the world. And you guys, not for nothing, women get it hard. Y'all be labeled bitches. You know what I mean? Because you
never.
Well, because you're outspoken. And it sounds like you're a woman of nuance and no nonsense.
Yeah.
Would that be accurate? Okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
And we talk about this if you want, and if you don't, we'll move on. But you mentioned you grew up in a single mother household, so. Dad, is there just no relationship there? Or?
My father figure it has been my grandpa. It was my grandpa.
Okay.
So, and we'll go into this about my career, because my grandpa has a lot to do with my career.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And my grandpa was my father figure. Yeah. I met my dad when I was I think I was like 10.
Oh, wow.
I went to go meet him in Durango.
Okay.
And I told him that I was hungry.
Yeah.
And this is a story that everybody's going to laugh at.
Okay.
So, I told him I was hungry. He's like, okay, let me make you some chicken soup. He lives in a rancho.
Yeah.
So he grabbed the chicken in front of me, twerked the head.
Oh, wow.
The chicken was wobbling, like without a head. He took out the feathers.
Traumatized.
And I got traumatized. Next thing you know, my dad's like, hey, the chicken's ready. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to eat at my grandma's convenience store. I'm not going to eat that.
You're not going to eat
I'm not used to it. And
gotcha.
they're like, oh, that's the best chicken. I'm like, yeah, but I like H-E-B chicken.
Girl, H-E-B got that chicken though. Especially in the container.
I just can't see it being killed.
No, okay. Well, to him, it's probably just like normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And give him props because he was trying to feed me.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I guess, do you guys just not have a relationship?
No.
It's not unhealthy.
It's not unhealthy, but it's not a relationship that I look for often.
I see.
He's tried to communicate with me, and I talk to him here and there. Don't get me wrong. I wish him well. He has 4 other kids.
Perfect.
But I'm just like my father figure. Like for me, my father figure's always been my grandpa.
Okay. I got you there. All right, so let's jump right into the early career. Okay, let's start. Realtor, you're doing your damn thing. I know a lot of people love working with you. I love seeing your posts. I love seeing all my realtor friends. Y'all just be selling houses. We're going to talk about buying houses in a minute. In 2021. Yeah. It's giving difficulty. Yeah. Okay. But what inspired you to get into real estate?
So going back to, your old job. Yeah. So actually, when I was young, I'm a cancer survivor.
Oh,
so I had cancer at the age of 3, and I grew up, and thankfully I was able to get through it.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to help people. So my original was I wanted to be an oncology nurse.
Okay.
So on my free time, I would donate my time with Carter Blood Care. And I remember talking to, I forgot her name, the one that aligns the amount of buses that come.
It was probably Stephanie.
No,
not Dawn. It wasn't Sarah. wasn't Vicky.
Vicky.
Was it Vicky?
It was Vicky.
Okay.
It was Vicky.
Shout out to Vicky.
Yeah, shout out to
fuck with
Vicky.
I fucked with Vicky. Yes, I did. Yes, I liked her.
And
Yes.
Vicky was like, Gabby, you need to tell me when you come because we can't have one bus with you. Like, you just jam pack us. And I'm like, okay. So I remember like getting the recruit, like filling y'all up with, you know, donations. And I was like, oh, okay. And my obligation, since I did have cancer and I had leukemia, which is cancer of the blood.
Yes, ma'am.
I was like, I always want to, like, I want to give back. And that's always been my goal.
Absolutely.
So I would educate those donors and I would get them on the bus and make sure that they get on the bus and got off the bus.
You did a good thing. The mission was just,
Yeah.
you know, because while I'm talking shit about the job, right? It was a chore working there. I couldn't stand it. Medical field's not me.
No,
it's not, you know,
it's not me.
But the mission and what you did to help that mission is absolutely just and what we need in this city.
Yes,
so,
and
kudos to you.
Thank you.
I'm not even like trying to cap. I'm being badass. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. So that was my way of giving back. So I'm like, my husband, he's like, we were struggling in 2019.
Okay.
Because I was going to deliver another baby in July. That was baby number 3.
Oh, girl. Okay.
Because we had our first baby at 17. And we were struggling. And then I was working with an agent.
Right.
I worked with her about 6 months and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And there were, she's like, well, I'm going to have you work from home. She kind of laid me off a little bit on the hours.
Sure.
And then she was like, oh, well, get your license and then you can come back. And I said, okay. So I got my license in a very, very hard time. And I went to go test for my test in November.
Yeah.
And my mom called me. I had seen my grandpa in October of 2020. And she's like, hey, you need to go back to see your grandpa. The first time I tested, I just wanted to know what it was about.
Yeah.
The second time I tested, I was like, okay, I need to pass this because I need to go back to work.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I went back to work and then my mom called me and told me, you need to go visit your dad, my grandpa. I was like, okay. I'm like, if I don't pass this test, I promise I'll go. But if not, then I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I pass, I have to go back to work. And she's like, okay. So then I went and I didn't pass. And I was like, God knows why, you know? And mom was like, you need to go see your dad. I got in my car. I took my oldest daughter. I was driving to Laredo because I dropped off my car in Laredo.
Okay.
And then I get the bus in Laredo to go to Monterey. And I said, okay. And my cousins were calling me, hey, where you at? I'm like, I'm on my way. What's going on?
You're driving from Mexico, from Waco to
Laredo. And then Laredo, I get a bus.
Which
and
is
then
not
I go to
5 minutes away. So I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and they were just asking me where I was at. I was like, okay, yeah. But I thought I didn't think anything of it. So then I went and then they told me, I got there at the bus station because I had got the bus and my uncle was like, hey, dad's sick. And I said, okay, flu, whatever. And then I got there and my daddy was dry.
Oh my God.
And that has to be, I think, the biggest hit I've gotten.
Yeah.
And then I told my dad, I'm like, we're going to get you better. Because I used to be a CNA as well. So I'm like, oh, I can get you up. We'll get you back. And I want you to be my son. My son was born in July of 2020. Oh my gosh, yeah. And he's like, yes, we're going to go. Like, very, very weak. And I got there November 24th of 2020 while everybody was here celebrating Thanksgiving. 5/29, my dad passed.
Oh my gosh.
So that was it's okay. It was the hardest hit I've ever gotten. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Take your time. No, you're fine.
It was a hard hit.
Yeah.
But he wasn't hurting anymore.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
So then I came back in December because I promised him I would be over there in Mexico for his birthday.
Yeah.
So his birthday was December 2nd.
Okay.
And I stayed there. My husband was like, hey, well, you're back. You got to go get your license. And I was like, I can't. I just asked my dad.
Yeah, like you're not.
I'm not in that.
Okay,
and my husband's like, I get it, but your dad wouldn't want you in this. Because I went literally, I felt God's way of giving me my son was his way of taking my dad.
Oh my goodness.
Because if you see my son, he looks exactly like my dad.
Is that right?
He has the facial features of my dad. So I feel like that was God's way.
Okay.
And I didn't understand it then. Now I do, but I didn't understand it then. So then we were struggling financially because I hit rock bottom, like through the depression of the postpartum and then having this and my mom's cancer. Something happened with her too. So it was like a hard time. And I was like, okay, I need to get out of here.
Right.
So then really that was my motive to my career. When I was breastfeeding and I was drying up. And I remember telling my a fellow agent, Greg Clark, which is my he was my mentor in real estate.
Shout out to Greg.
Yes, shout out to Greg.
Him, but shout out to Greg. I don't think I know.
And he was like, I went into his office and he's like, why are you crying? I was like, Greg, I'm drying up. Like, he's like, what do you want? And I was like, I need a business.
Yeah.
And he's like, what about that listing? And she was with me.
Okay.
And she's like, go get it. And I drove up to this lady's house. Yeah. It's when Trump was, newly. So I'm like, oh man, I seen this. I drove up to her house. I seen this Trump flag. And I was like, oh man, she's racist.
You're like, damn it, bitch. I'm going through enough right now. Okay.
Yes. I was just like, but when you're coming from a lower income and you don't educate yourself on this stuff, that was my mindset.
And at this point, you're just kind of getting thrown in there.
I'm just, I'm new.
Yeah.
And she was like, I met her, like I talked to her. She was a nurse and we clicked instantly.
Oh, good.
And then I was like, well, here's the paperwork you're going to need if you do decide to sell. Because she's like, oh, I have people calling me all the time. I was like, well, I'm not calling you. I'm showing up. And then, that was my first listing.
Was your first listing. Okay.
And after that, I really just ran with it.
Okay. So after that really just, it's history from there.
Yeah.
For the most part, right? Because you've really been doing your thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you go, you know what? Just starting the conversation up until this point now, we're like 20 minutes in so far, you just don't let adversity tear you down. You know what I mean? Especially going through all that. And it sounds like, all that just kind of like overlapped on each other. You know what I mean? Like dad passing away, which again, I apologize. And I know that's hard to talk about, and then, the situation with your mother and now you're a new mother yourself. Now you're going to go do a listing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that it was a sign of relief for you after you did your first sale or your first listing?
Yeah.
Do you think that there was just a big weight off your shoulders or?
Yes, because then I'm like, okay, at least I got one pair of business. And then it's just really putting myself out there.
I got you. I wanted to ask you too, as far as building yourself as a brand, right? Do you think that it was difficult, especially being, like you mentioned, not too educated in the field and stuff like that?
I think it was difficult at first, but I kind of like just threw stuff on like memes. Yeah. I was like, let me just let this page grow.
But because let's just call the spade, right? Everybody wants to do real estate now. That's like the thing, right? And everybody's good at it. And so it's a competitive market to be in. You know what I mean? And I wonder how you stay above the fray and not let the competition tear you down or, hinder your progress, if that matters.
Well, me, I really take care of my clients.
Okay.
And I don't tell you that lightly. I'm constantly checking on them, constantly trying to find different ways where I can help them, especially like these Spanish speakers.
Oh, yeah.
Because those are they're like my babies. Even though, they're older than me, but they're like my babies. But because of the fact that we're in the being lower income, lower class, we're kind of we're okay with settling.
I see.
And that's my thing. I feel like I want people, I want to see people grow.
Yeah.
I want to be able to know that, hey, I helped that house. I helped this, everything. I have my little seed in that. So that's my biggest thing is helping people. And really it's just by them showing, I had a client and I'm not going to say her name, but she was like, she looked at me. She's like, you're not a hypocrite. I was like, I hope not. But if she could tell me, she could tell me right away. She's like, you actually care.
Yeah.
I was like, I try.
Well, because there's being good at your job and there's being I feel like there's being a sales pro or a salesperson, and most times they're sleazy, right?
Yeah.
They are, been in that field. Not in real estate, but
yeah.
and then there's you who's actually like passionate about the position, passionate about your job, and you want to make sure that everybody's taken care of. There has to be a burden in that though, not for nothing, because it's getting like it sounds like you're really focused, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't want to generalize you or your position, but it sounds like you're really focused on just like, I want to take the people that are lower income or the people that are inner city for that matter, the people that I grew up with, not technically, but metaphorically. And I want them to change their mindset and narrative of how to live life. You can buy a house. You can be a homeowner. You don't got to stay at the gardens your whole life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with the gardens. I'm just saying, and so that on top of everything that you've been through, it's got to be a big burden on you, Gabby.
It is. It gets to an extent.
Changing people's mind.
Yeah, it is. But it's really educating them and not being afraid to let them know being very open, very honest.
I see.
Because a lot of people want to, in order for them to get your business, they'll let you, oh yeah, whatever you say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you have to be, hey, it's not what you think it is. You have to be able to educate these clients. And of course, they have to be open to hearing you
Receiving
out.
That and the truth. Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, without getting offended.
Girl, please. Well, listen, Gabby, I have so much more I want to dive into, right? Because I know that there's some just adversities that you deal with in your position. And I definitely want to learn more about that. I want to learn more about just like your tough nature and how it plays a role in your job. But we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to learn more about Gabby Cortes and her juggernaut position as a real estate. So make sure you guys stay tuned here on The Public Affair. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this exciting episode of The Public Affair. My very special guest, Ms. Gabby Cortes, is in the building, world-renowned realtor. Now, before we continue, I definitely need to use this opportunity. Just give a shout out. Just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, I want to give a huge shout out to Banda's Hauling Service with Julian out of Banda. That's right. They rent dump trailers. You fill it up. They're going to haul it away. They also do junk removals. They do tree brush removals. They haul cars in and out of town. They tow your car when it breaks down. If you guys are having those big giant parties and you need a roll-off dumpster service, they're going to take care of you for that as well. All right. So we don't want no cans, no beer cans on the floor. We're tired of that. We're tired of getting up the next morning, picking up trash, paper plate, them cheap ass paper plates, and them beer cans. We don't want to do that. Call Banda's Hauling Service. That way he can get you a dumpster and do it yourself. All right? Make sure you guys call them on the screen. The Julian Ana Banda, thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Chefito's Kitchen with Al Gutierrez and Adriana Gutierrez serving the best Latin cuisine, including, oh my goodness, a ton of menu items that I personally grew up on as a Puerto Rican. I'm talking about some arroz con gandules, I'm talking about some pernil, I'm talking about plátano maduro, and so much more. You guys in the Cuban sandwiches. The Cuban sandwiches are giving. Okay, you have to go get the Cuban sandwiches. Please listen to me when I tell you to go do that. It's at Union Grove. Go check them out, all right? If you guys want to order online, you can order online on Grubhub, DoorDash, and more. Catch them out at Union Grove. If you guys need any catering services as well, Chefito's Kitchen, Gabby Gutierrez, Adriana Gutierrez, thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Jeffrey Monreal with Pollo Box and Audio, home for all LED needs and auto accessories, installation of stereos, or speakers, and audio systems. He's also specializing in building custom software closures and so much more. Gabby already told me that she heard me basing Cheetah Girls in Hewitt Drive. That was me, girl. Yes, it was. All right, yes. Throw your hands up if you know that yourself. That was me, all right? Your one-stop shop to get everything done in one room. But make sure you guys get some tint, please. Get the tint on the car. I'm so tired of looking in y'all's windows, and I can see everything that you're doing. Nobody knew what I was doing the morning before this. The tent was on point, all right? Thank you to Pollo Box and Audio. Of course, to Soko Soccer Academy with Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez located. Of course, the Soko Soccer Academy with Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez. They're offering team, small group, and individual skills training. And Soko Childcare is one of the most prestigious and best childcare centers here in Central Texas. And I will swing hands with anybody who disagrees with me. They're also offering elite skills training with pros like George De Leon. And of course, I want to give a huge shout out to the Soko Soccer teams coached by Coach Mauro Maldonado, Coach Megan, Coach Jeff. You guys are truly doing amazing things with those kids. Those kids are juggernauts. Those kids are phenomenal. They're so great at what they do. And you guys are just bound for glory and greatness and achieving so much success. To Soko Soccer Academy, the Public Affair is here to support any way that I can. Thank you guys so much for all your support of The Public Affair. All right, guys, we're back with my very, very special guest. Ms. Gabby Cortes is in the building. She's doing great. She's looking great. She's serving legs now. She got comfortable. Okay, she got comfortable. She goes, okay, we can... You know, I wonder, is there a pressure for you to have to like maintain this image of leadership in town with your new status? For that matter? When
I first meet clients, yes.
Yeah,
and then when I get to know them, no.
Do you be going to the parties?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I love, I honestly, that's my biggest thing in my career is I love having that relationship after the closing table.
Oh, really?
I don't like just being the agent that closes you. I like to be able to be a part and just grow into the family.
Do you think that, what's the difference between actually like building a friendship with them and a good working, like a client relationship?
I mean, a client relationship, they're going to reach out to you maybe if they want to sell. I think the friendship is very important because I have a client, Jesus Arroyo. Shout out to him.
Do I know him?
I don't know.
Is he hot?
I don't know.
Did I slide in his DMs? I feel like I slid in his DMs. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I slid into an Arroyo's DMs. I just don't know if it was Jesus. Girl, I'd be forgetting. I'm not going to lie. It's never your man's, I promise. Okay?
It better not be.
It was never your man's, I swear. But Jesus, I don't know. If I didn't, my bad, bro. But anyway.
Well, he is one of my loyal clients. And he'll call me. He's like, hey, what do you think about this interest rate on this truck?
Sure.
I was like, oh, I'm like, and I'll be honest with him, but I've been able to build that relationship to where he's like, you're like a sister to me. Like, you're not
so
even my
good.
agent. Like,
Yeah.
you're my sister.
Oh, good for him.
So,
yeah.
Mhm.
But I wonder, does sometimes building a friendship with clients, can that sometimes build a conflict of interest? Do you think that sometimes it can get in the way of the, like, if they, I don't know, if you guys have a falling out one day, you know what I mean, for something stupid, you know, do you think it ruins your rep as a...
Thankfully, I haven't had that.
Okay,
And knock on wood, let me see, knock on her head that
I
it
don't know if
doesn't.
this is what, I don't know.
I haven't had that. And
Yeah.
I typically, I'm very open with my clients, so
Sure.
whatever comes up, they know to call me, and I'll get it fixed right
Okay,
away.
got you.
Mhm.
Okay, sure. You know what? And with that being said, I'm so happy that you build these relationships with your clients, right? And it sounds like you're one to make good friends with, which we're gonna party one day. We are. Okay, I'm just gonna show up to your house, and I can do that because you were on my podcast. So, but you know, I went. Do you have any client horror stories? Have you ever worked with anybody and you were like, oh my god, this bitch? I'm fed up. I'm at my wits' ends.
I've probably had 2 clients that I've fired because I technically can fire.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just been because we just don't come to an agreement.
Okay, got you.
Mm-hmm.
Has it ever gotten to the point where because you're very outspoken, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're very tough. You got that tough demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
You got that.
I'm very soft too.
No, I'm sure you are. Yeah, but off camera, you were getting ready to strangle me. No, I'm kidding. But
over my husband, of course.
I would never sign your husband's name. I promise.
Okay. You said it.
Now that we've met.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I swear to God. Now, if it was like 4 years ago, probably. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but I'm a changed person now.
Okay.
I really am.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. No, it's difficult because the guys don't stop. Can we stop for a second? They don't stop. Stop messaging me. Damn. They don't, Gabby.
We just gotta You just gotta find that one.
God. Sorry. It's just annoying. Like, this week was like so fucking draining over it. Anyway, so it's like, shut up, messaging me, you fucking wife. But anyway,
Oh. Yeah,
it's like that. Or the gay fight that I had yesterday. It's like my boyfriend. Look at your boyfriend too, bitch. Fuck you and your boyfriend. All right. So anyway, back to my question. You mentioned firing clients, right? And so, do you ever feel like, what was why did it get to that point where you were just like, hey, look, this is it? And what was firing your first client like? I mean, because it can be confrontational, right?
It can be.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of clients, I guess they expect you to be there, and I'm there all the way.
Sure.
But when I have I don't know, when something's going on with my kids or they're not understanding, or after a while you're like, okay, this is how we're going to do things. And this is the way the market is. And I can't change that.
Sure.
And they're like, well, I want to do this. You know what? It's not going to work because I can't change the market. I can negotiate as much as I can for you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the market speaks for itself.
Right. Do you think that some of those people that you had to fire are kind of being like a little bit intrusive in your personal life too? Because you are a mother. I mean, you have how many kids? Is it 4?
I have 4 kids.
4 kids, yeah. You're a mother of 4 kids. You're a wife. You know what I mean? So obviously, we're getting into that in just a second too. You're not just going home and chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, do you think that those couple of clients that you got, maybe it kind of got a little bit too intrusive in the personal life?
No, I don't think it's been personal life. It's just been the fact that I guess they're kind of used to it's my way or no way, and that's not how life is.
That's not how it works. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So I guess with that being said, I watched this TikTok that you posted, right? And I wrote down what you said because I didn't want to forget. But you mentioned that you wouldn't work with buyers, or you're not showing houses without buyers rep.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Can you elaborate on that and what exactly does that mean?
So there was a new law that came into August 17th that literally there's even false buyers right now just testing us that if we don't have a buyer's rep signed and we're showing you a house, we're also not guaranteeing our pay.
Sure.
So now a lot of agents, to try to win clients, they were showing 1,000 houses, and at the end of the day, those buyers weren't even buying with them.
Oh, I see.
And then on top of that, it's just a lawsuit with the commissions and everything. So now you do have to have a buyer's rep up front, and I'm getting a buyer's rep up front because I'm not wasting my time anymore, and I'm securing my pay.
Okay, well, and you have to, right?
Yeah.
What is a buyer's rep for anybody who doesn't know?
A buyer's representation is basically you're hiring me to represent you in the buy or sell, or in the buy of a home.
I have to ask David if we did that, but I mean, it has been a couple of years since I looked for my
You
last
probably
house.
need to renew it
Yeah, I don't know if we did. I don't know if that was a thing, but that just came into law this year.
this year.
Okay, then we probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to act like I'm doing wrong things. I love David. Like,
Stop cheating on David.
I'm not cheating. No, I only work with David.
Okay.
You know?
Because I did have a client that
Yeah.
was working with me, and then for a while he kind of stopped, and then he went to
Sure.
another agent. And I told him, I was like, you better stop cheating on me or go with the other person.
Okay, no,
'cause you don't."
okay. So I guess that's what my question is. It's like a commitment
Yep.
to only work with you.
Yep,
And not another agent.
correct.
Okay, yeah, no, well, I think that just comes with principle. Like if I'm working with David,
But some people don't.
They don't
care.
have that.
They're okay with cheating, and I'm just not okay with cheating.
she's scaring me. I told you I wasn't going to slide in the end. I told you, I promise I'm not. She right here, you got to be careful with this one. She looks like if anybody fucking tried it.
My husband knows better.
Yeah, no. Shout out to him. No, okay, so that's what that is. Though.
Yeah.
But I think even when, we'll give shout out David something. I mean, he sponsors my podcast. He's a good friend of mine. Like, why wouldn't I work with you? Do you know what I mean? And then I never thought
Unless you get a boyfriend that's a realtor.
No, he's gonna have to understand.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna be single my whole fucking life. I'm a horrible fucking boyfriend. I'm a horrible side piece. I'm a horrible anything.
We need to put you in therapy.
Coming soon. Coming soon. That's a good teaser right there. Coming soon. But anyway, okay, yeah. So I guess with some people though. So how many situations were you put in where maybe somebody was kind of like seeking services from other realtors where you finally just got fed up and made that post?
1, 2.
2. Okay, gotcha.
It took 2 and no more.
And that was it. Okay. Oh my God. Do you find yourself sometimes, because we mentioned that the real estate the world is very competitive. Do you know what I mean? Do you find yourself sometimes in a situation where you maybe think or know or suspect that another realtor is trying to take people from under your rug?
No, not to expect. Because the biggest thing I'm big on following up, and that's why I have her now.
Yeah.
So we're keeping track. I'm keeping that communication, and if one falls through, I just wasn't the right agent for it.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's okay to pick incorrectly.
Oh, really? Okay. So wait, Gabby's
Gabby is my assistant. She
okay.
is hopefully praying to God. She's working on her license, so we're going to be working together, and hopefully she'll be a buyer's agent.
That'll be so good. I told David that he needs to let me be his assistant. I'd be a badass assistant. I really think, I know I'm famous and shit like that, but I'd be a really good assistant too. You know what I mean?
And David needs to take you up on that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Do you think that being outspoken and being, as direct and you're really raw, you got really raw aura about you, really real. You know what I mean? Do you think sometimes that plays a negative effect in your business, in the business, Gabby?
I haven't had any complaints.
So more people
actually like it because they're like, you're not going to tell me what I want to hear. You're going to be very honest with me.
Yeah.
And I mean, according to my client, the one that said I'm not a hypocrite, I mean.
I love it. I love that for you though, honestly, because again, it's hard for you women. I'll say it out there. It's hard for you women, or maybe for anybody, for you women specifically, to be headstrong, to be, stand on your toes and, say, look, this is how shit's going to go. And this is how I want it to go. Because then all of a sudden, she's difficult to work with. She's this and that. Let's go into this. Can you recall any moments, I'm sure it wasn't all easy getting into your position. Can you recall any moments where maybe you were doubted on? Or maybe somebody was maybe trying to tear you down, or maybe there was a situation where, Gabby's never going to be like a good, you know what I mean?
Well, I think overall I was doubted growing up because, like I mentioned, I had my first kid at 17.
Sure.
And I always defended myself.
Yeah.
Because my mom, a lot of people helped us. So I feel like my mom kind of, she was very cautious on how she approached people. And I get that. But so I had to kind of defend myself growing up. So when I got pregnant, I feel like everybody's like, oh, that's it. That's what she's going to, okay. She's going to be a teen mom. She's going to make anything of herself.
They were kind of writing your future for you.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I finally got into this career, I doubted myself. But my biggest push has always been my husband. Yeah. He's like, if you can convince me to get a needle stuck in my arm to donate a pint of blood, You can convince somebody to.
You are taking me back, girl. Oh, you are taking me back to those days I pressed.
They're coming back.
Yeah. No, okay, but you know, so he's been your biggest support
He's been
system.
my
then.
biggest support system.
Okay, that's good. You know, I definitely want to talk a little bit about that too, because listen, you're booked and busy. You know what I mean? Yeah. How do you find time being the successful realtor that you are, and then going home and being a mother of 4 kids and a wife?
I've been trying to take more weekends off. I just really started because when you're in the business, starting in the business, you really have to dedicate it to it. And my daughter, my middle one, is a little me. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. I love her. Don't get me wrong. I love my daughter, but she's very, she's like, Mom, like, you're here. You're not there. So she has helped me come back and just being able to tell clients, hey, you know, I'm taking this weekend off or every other weekend off.
Sure.
That's been my biggest. And then with my husband, you know, we put the kids to bed. We turn SWAT on. It could be 9. And before we know it, 11. And we binge our series.
Sure.
We try to go to the movies, like just date each other. We're now starting to do that again.
Okay.
Because I kind of like, I'm like, if you're not on my schedule, I can't do it.
Yeah. Okay. You live off a calendar for a whole minute, right? Yeah. I learned that from David too. We both live off calendars. Yeah. It's like, so when are you good for lunch?
Yeah.
He's like, I could do next Thursday. Next Thursday. That's what I was talking about today.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody wants to be a realtor, right? Everybody wants to dip their toes in what they think is gonna, you know, be their next money grab for that matter, because you know, if you do the job good, then you can be well off, right? What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see some of these novice realtors making? You're just like, what the F are you doing?
So we actually talked about what, 2?
Look at her, she's like, say
we had 2, yes. Just today we had 2. A client, my mom's friend, didn't have my number, and he got my number today, and he was like, hey, I have a problem, and I was like, well, what is it? He's like, it's because they sold me the land, but it's not the land that was in the pictures. And it doesn't even have the septic. It doesn't have the electricity. And I was like, oh, so where's the other? He's like, so it's next to it. But they're telling me, I called the realtor and he's like, well, it's only going to cost you $10,000 to, clean the land.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, it's only going to be 10,000. I was like, only 10,000? I'm like, how much you pay for it? He was like, well, I paid this much. And I was like, oh, I'm like, well, that's the agent's fault because it's his responsibility to represent you. So it's very important for you to make sure you know the property, really identify and look at the details.
Okay.
Because now he might be in a lawsuit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you think maybe in this case, it was a situation where that agent was maybe just kind of saying things just to be like, yeah, let's hurry up and get the sale.
It's because that's where it becomes like, the agent, does the agent really look for your best interest, or is he just looking for this next sale?
Exactly.
And that's what I think on this.
And that's what we said in the beginning of the episode. There's being a salesperson, and then there's being, you know, a realtor. Yeah. There's being Gabby. You know what I mean? Who Gabby? You just have a pure heart. You just you're in it to help everybody. Yes. You know what I mean? But yeah, that exists for sure, 100%. So do you find yourself in a position to maybe want to counsel that, or are you just staying out of it?
No, I'm staying out of it. No, I'm staying out of it.
She goes, well, I said,
here's an attorney. Talk to that realtor, but here's an attorney.
Okay, yeah. Well, she watches all that SWAT. So
I'll stay out of it.
Do you find a pressure in yourself, Gabby, to prove maybe people that hated on you or doubted you wrong?
No, because I feel like I look at myself, and if I'm better than I did yesterday, then I feel like I'm happy.
I gotcha.
Because at the end of the day, the only ones that I have to make happy are my kids and my husband. That's it. That's where I feel like us Hispanics, we focus too much on trying to please other people. Like, no. And I learned that the hard way.
I agree.
We have to be able to be happy within ourselves to be able to take care of my kids and to care of my husband and make sure that my marriage is solid. I can tell you my marriage is as solid as ice.
That is so good.
No, not even ice. That's brick, wood, whatever.
I was going to say ice smells good.
Yeah, no, not ice, not ice.
Edit that. But you know, so people are going to be watching this, and you know, first of all, kudos to you growing up in a single mother household. Kudos to a cancer survivor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, you've been through a lot of adversity in your life. You know what I mean? You've been. It sounds like you've had a wall of shit fall on you, but you're just not fazed by it.
I've learned to not get fazed by it because, You know, I tell my husband all the time, I was like, babe, you don't realize, like, so I'm hard on my husband, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't realize, in terms of, I feel like he forgets that, and I remind him, I try to remind him, but when I start, don't give him headaches.
Yeah, sure.
That throughout the darkness that, you know, one grows up with, he's been my light. Like, my family has been my light. My kids, like, you see my kids, and my kids are always smiling and always happy, always friendly.
That's so great.
And I'm just like, who's my kids? So yeah, they are my kids. But because I've been able to raise them in that happy household.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I had a kid with you. That's why I'm married to you.
Okay, got you. Yeah. So, you know, the family unit's important for you. I got you. Gosh, Gabby, I love that for you. And I really, what advice would you give to somebody that's watching this and they're just like, I just cannot pull myself out of this rut? Like, and Gabby just looks like she's just like,
I tell everybody, cry about it for a little bit, but don't stay there.
Don't say that.
Just keep going, keep pushing. And honestly, the next day is honestly another opportunity.
Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. Now, Gabby, damn it, we're running out of time and I hate this so much. But before we go, you know, you're a renowned realtor in your own right. What are we doing wrong? What are some tips that you can give us for buying a house?
Go to my buyer seminar on October 26th at noon. Okay. We are going to talk about credit, specifically those that need credit repairs. It's going to be a great program that you can sign up for.
Yeah. Okay. So October 26th.
October 26th. It's at my office, 3701 West Waco Drive.
Oh, okay. So make sure you guys pull up because, you know, some of our credits are looking at Hot Mess Express. Okay. You know, and I will say too, because Christina Martinez, David Santabanez, Rosalina Perez, oh my God, who was Scott Ruby, I think was there. And they had one of those seminars. And I thought it was very, very informative. I went last year. Oh, okay. And so for people who are, like, honestly, you guys, if you guys are looking into buying a house, you guys have some shit credit, go see them again, October 26th. 26th, gotcha. What's next for you, Gabby?
My next goal is to hopefully travel more and build my real estate portfolio.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love that for you. Thank you so much for coming on to The Public Affair. And I wish you nothing but the best. How can we reach out to you?
You can call me at 254-640-0086 or email me at g.cortes@kw.com.
She give her her number. I don't want you guys sliding her DMs. She already says she got a man. And let me tell you guys something too. Don't be fucking texting me after I make the announcement and talking about, is she single?
I'm happily married.
That happens all the time. Nobody ever wants to know if I'm single. Which I am.
They slide in your DMs, just not answering them.
Well, Gabby, we'll talk about that at a party or something. Okay? Gabby, thank you again so much. And, you know, I wish we had more time. And again, I think, you know, to look back that we essentially knew of each other. Damn it. I haven't worked for Carter Blood Care.
It's been a while.
I quit in 2020, I think. It was right when the show started, when I did this podcast. So it's been a long time, you know? And so, you know, for us to be here now, number one, we're blessed. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful to have this opportunity with you. I'm grateful that you trusted this platform to come share a little bit of your story, be vulnerable with us, and talk about your career. And I wish you nothing but the best. Honestly, I do.
Thank you.
So if you ever need anything from me, you let me know.
I will.
Yes. Okay. And when you guys are having a party or something, I'm pulling up with the mimosas and the wine. And
we're just waiting for Leslie to recover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Girl, she's me there too. Yes. And big shout out to them. They just had their baby. Yes, the baby is so beautiful. Shout out to the baby.
I know he gives me like baby fever. I'm like, nope, I'm head for it.
I'm so happy for them. You know, Maro is my very best friend, and me at the three. I just have such a good relationship with Maro and Leslie, and I love them. And the baby's so cute. It's so cute. So big shout out to them. Yeah, so once they recover, we'll have okay, gotcha. All right, well, thank you guys again so much for tuning into this episode of The Public Affair. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, before we go, definitely with this opportunity, just give a shout out, just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by, of course, Elite Barbershop and my boy Sid Rodriguez, located on Hewitt Drive. He's got me looking super crispy today for Gabby. Yes, he did.
My son gets his hair. My son and my husband get their hair cut with him.
At Elite Barbershop? Oh, that's it? That's probably where I seen your husband. Maybe that's where I seen him when I'm getting my hair, because I knew he looked familiar, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is, right? And I knew it wasn't from high school. So yeah, okay, I think I've seen them there. Yeah, big shout out to, isn't Sid great? He be having us looking crispy.
My son is he's so good with my son.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, he's been actually the longest running sponsor of The Public Affair. I will say yes. I've seen him come from the barber school to where he is now. Big shout out to him. He's got Elite Barbershop going with literally a team of elite barbers. Yeah. He makes me look crispy. He makes her husband look crispy. He makes the sun look crispy. He makes everybody look crispy. Everybody at Elite Barbershop can do the same thing. Make sure you guys walk in or download the Squire app to book. They also got Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, David Rodriguez, Isaac Chavez, Clint Fletcher, Isai Reyes, Sam Ceballos, and Kayla Chapa over there making the snacks that we all have for more than 200 and something episodes of The Public Affair to Elite Barbershop. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, the JC Painting and Drywall LLC with my boy Julio Arriaga. Contact for all drywall and beautiful new paint for your property, both commercial and residential. I'm so tired of pulling up to y'all's business with the chipping paint. With the chipping paint, just call JC Painting and Drywall LLC, okay? His work is honest and true and can guarantee 100% satisfaction. Se habla español también, and he truly lives by his slogan, just imagine, and we can make it happen. Call today and get scheduled to JC Painting and Drywall LLC. Julio Arriaga, muchas gracias por todo. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, J Pedo and Poke. Ooh, this was lunch. I had it for lunch. It was so good. With my boy Junior Fuentes and the entire family providing delicious, savory Japanese crepes and poke bowls. They also have handcrafted Thai rolled ice cream for dessert. You can choose from a menu item, or you can just be like me, go on the J Pedo app, pick your own protein bowl and just eat that. It's amazing. It's fun. Location on University Park Drive and Hewitt Drive. You can order online as well. To J Pedo and Poke, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, to my girl, Ana Limones, with Hummingbird Party Backdrops and Decor. Call for all party decor, including beautiful balloon pops, giving an extra for your party or event with a number of wooden backdrops and so much more. She's truly the GOAT. She puts all her blood, sweat, and tears in all her events, and she's going to make sure that your party and your event is standing out amongst everybody else's. I'm telling you guys right now, I stand by it. Call now with the number on the screen, with the email address as well. To Ana Limones, thank you so much for all you do for me and the show, girl. I truly appreciate all of you guys. I got more of The Public Affair on the way. Gabby, it was a pleasure. I had such a good time. I just love you just serving. I love it so much. Thank you so much to Gabby as well. All right. And to all of you guys, don't forget to always keep it between us. That's it. We didn't get the name brand waters for you. We got the Clover Valley.
Dang.
Dollar General, which means there's plenty of minerals in there that we don't need. I didn't know Dollar General sells meat too. Like that you can make in the oven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I never bought
I'm not supposed to do all that, but like anyway.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.